Hi coders! CS Time channel here, and this video discuss about what is queue, queue principle, operations in queue, ways to implement the queue, and enqueue operation. Queue is an ordered list which enables insert operation to be performed at one end, called rear, and delete operation to be performed at another end, called front. Queue is referred to be as first in, first out list. For example, people waiting in line for a rail ticket form a queue, or people waiting in a bank for a customer service also form a queue. Queue principle is FIFO, first in, first out. A queue like this has two ends, the front end, which is called as front, and the back end, which is called as rear. If an element is inserted for the first time, then the front pointer and the rear pointer will point to the same element, which is the first element. If you add a new element like this, then the rear pointer will point to the new element. And then again, you add another element like this, then the rear will change its pointer to point to the new element. So from this, we understand that the new element always inserted in the rear end, so enqueue operation or insertion happen in the rear end. And every time you want to delete the element, then the first element will be deleted is the element in the front. So the queue operation or deletion happen in the front end. There are two ways to implement the queue, using array and using linked list. Our focus in this video is implementation using linked list. Let's see enqueue operation in queue. Before you insert an element, initially queue is empty. Therefore, front pointer and rear pointer will point to null. It means front equal to rear. If you wish to insert a new item like this, then rear will point to the new item. This instruction will make the rear point to the new item like this. If you insert another new item like this, then the rear will point to the new item like this. Rear point to B. It means rear equal to new item. Rear will keep pointing the new item that inserted at the rear end. So enqueue or insertion operation always happen at the rear end. Let's see Java implementation. So here I will write the queue program up to the enqueue method. The first step is to declare the pointer. Based on the explanation, we have two pointer. The first one is front pointer, and then we also have rear pointer, and then we also want to declare the size of the queue. And then now to create the class for the list node. So I will make it private, class list node. Under the class list node, I will declare the data as well as the pointer. Here I use character for my data, and then I also declare the pointer. Now I will create the constructor for this class. So here I declare it as public. So I will pass the data to initialize it. This dot data, I initialize it with the data from here, from the parameter, and then this dot next, I initialize it with null. Now I will create constructor for this. So I will make it public queue. So I will initialize the front equal to null. Initially is empty, so we make the front point to the null, and then the rear also point to the null. And the length is 0 because we haven't insert anything to it. Now we will make a method for the length. So we will just return length. And then we need a method to check if the queue is empty. I make it as boolean. I will just return true or false. When it is equal to 0, it will return empty, which is true. Otherwise, it will return false. Now we write the enqueue method. We will not return the value. We want to insert character to it. And then we have to create the node first. I put new item here, and then we enter the data from here. And then we have to check first. When you insert, you need to check whether the queue is empty or not. Is empty, we call the method as my visualization. If it's empty, then the front will point to the new item. And then the same for the rear will also point to the same new item for the first time. If it's not empty, else it means rear.next will point to the new item. It will also point to the new item. So I will just move it here. So it means here, both of it, rear will point to the new item. And then once we insert a new item, then the length will increase. Okay, here is our Enqueue method. We will continue to this after I explain the DQ method. If you learned something from this video, please subscribe and like for more videos. Thanks for watching.